Hey guys, we're back and we're crusty. Since you're probably used to me using the same old stuff, today is actually inspired by a pedicure that I gave my mom. And she had these. These are some cuticle nippers that are actually shaped like tweezers versus traditional cuticle nippers, which have more of like a scissor type handle on them. You can buy them individually, but I did go for the set and I will give you my final thoughts later. But here, I'm basically cutting down one of my nails that is susceptible to me cracking the corner. If you've seen any of my pedicure videos, you probably noticed this from time to time, in part due to my clumsiness. It generally just happens when I'm not wearing any polish, which in this case, I don't even have clear polish on. I have on a base coat, which is literally like wearing nothing, and it does wear away quite easily. So as I always suggest, you should definitely keep your nails polished to protect them. What it does is it reinforces the C-curve, because having that natural curve to your nail makes it stronger than the nail being flat. And that's why whenever you get extensions, if they're free sculpted, the artist generally pinches in a curve, as well as build the apex, because if they're too thin, they will just snap. So first up, I'm using this cuticle pusher that again came in that set. And when I tell y'all, this is my fave thus far. And it's literally just a miniature size, but this is perfect. This is exactly what I've been looking for in a straight cuticle pusher. Because as you guys know, I usually use the ones that are curved because I recommend not just pushing back, but going in a bit of a circular motion. What they've done really well here is gotten the angle on that edge just like perfect. It's perfectly beveled so that it actually is able to lift the cuticle. Remember, your cuticle is attached to your nail bed. Therefore, if your skin is well hydrated, you wouldn't be able to see it at all. It'd be like clear tape. But when it gets dry and dehydrated, that is when it lifts and it turns this like ashy white color. That's when it becomes really visible. So if you ever notice that your cuticles like on your hands look really bad, but then it looks totally fine after you get out of a shower, that's why. Remember, water is moisture and moisture is always the key. You need hydration for your skin to look good. And note, this is what damage looks like. This little area is actually peeling. Your nail is actually made up of several layers of keratin. So when you get an area that looks like this, if you were to peel it back, you are quite literally thinning the nail out. So if it's already strong, this might not be that big of a deal. But if your nails are naturally weak, then it really is, because it's gonna make them even thinner. So as my nail grows out, it's gonna split or crack later. The only thing to do is to remove it. So I'm gonna cut my nail even shorter. I am going to put an extension on this nail so that it's even with everything else. I'm actually gonna show you that process in the next video that I upload. But if you can't wait, then I do already have one. That's a pretty easy process. And again, these are the tweezer style cuticle nippers that I was talking about. I figured that these would probably be like great for someone out there who maybe struggles with their hand positioning and being able to hold traditional cuticle nippers, because I know I did it first. And especially because they generally have that like locking mechanism in the middle. Sometimes that can slip or come undone. So with these, there's nothing extra. And because so many of you asked me, how the heck do I actually do my toenails and get in such great detail? This is how. My ankles are super flexible. Even though I do change my positioning when I'm filming, 9 times out of 10, this is how I'm sitting. So my back never hurts from doing this. But if yours does, I would recommend squatting. Sit on a stool that's pretty low to the ground, or prop something underneath your feet while you're sitting in like a regular chair or your couch. And just as a reminder, as always, everything that I'm using will be linked in the description box. It's below the title. I know I mentioned it before that I have a bio site where everything that I'm using at the moment has everything listed and linked. This is by far my favorite product that Squarespace has come out with lately, because posting on several different platforms sometimes makes continuity like more difficult. But with this, it's a one-stop for everything that I can control from my phone, which means I can make edits from anywhere at any time. Needless to say, that's super convenient because, as y'all know, I have a million tabs open at all times, therefore I'll be forgetting stuff. And another thing that's really useful about this as well is that it does come with some analytics. So you can quite literally see how many people are visiting the site. So if you still haven't tried anything that Squarespace has to offer, remember you get 10% off with my coupon code abetweene, or you can go to www.squarespace.com/abetweene to get started. This is what premature damage can look like. However, these little white marks are actually not damaged, and I could tell that because when I apply oil, you'll see that those white marks disappear. If it were, you would still see white marks there regardless if the nail is hydrated or not. So I am buffing the nail slightly, but again, remember, this is not something that you want to do if your nails are already thin.
Perhaps I was talking when I should have been listening. I should have been listening.
And yeah, as you can see, the calluses are callusing. So I'm gonna choose the quick route and use a callus shaver, as I showed you guys in my previous video, which was how to remove dry, cracked heels. Using this is for when you have a lot of buildup, which is one of the reasons why thick calluses crack. So if you were to go to, say, a podiatrist, this is how they would also remove those calluses or corns, because in reality, they can be quite deep, and that's why they can become painful. After I use my foot file, as usual, I'm going to use a foot scrub. This one is made of coffee. And because I'm doing that extension, I'm going to end the video here. But if you want to see how I finish this pedicure and all of the finishing touches is going to be in the next video. So if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you do that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Perhaps I was talking when I should have been listening. I should have been listening.